Taiwan is the home of our treasured partners. Taiwan and our partnership has created the world's AI infrastructure.
Hello and welcome to Perspectives with Nilo. I'm your host, Nilo Sullivan. If you are new to our podcast, be sure to check out our past episodes, which you can find on our blog site at pwnilo.com or by searching for Perspectives with Nilo wherever you get your podcasts. In the first week of June, Computex 2024 took place in Taipei. This technology expo has been around in one form or another since 1981. It's co-organised by government-funded Taiwan External Trade Development Council and private sector Taipei Computer Association, and is generally recognised as one of, if not the largest computer expo in the world. This year's theme was AI Everywhere, and many of the biggest names in tech delivered keynotes announcing their latest technology as well as showcasing their newest products across multiple exhibition floors. In this episode, we bring you a flavour of this event. We talk to entrepreneurs and innovators developing new tools and applications in the field of AI, and to the companies delivering the latest gaming, laptop and data center technology. Computex Taipei is often where new semiconductor chips and hardware devices are revealed to the world. This year was no exception, with keynotes from tech industry titans like Nvidia, Intel, ARM and Qualcomm, and product announcements from original equipment manufacturers or OEMs like ASUS, Quanta, Inventec and many more. In all, there were over 4,500 booths showcasing the latest breakthroughs and innovation from the fields of artificial intelligence, advanced communications and EV technology, manufacturing and robotics, gaming and much more. A clear trend this year is the maturing of AI technology and a spreading from the cloud to edge applications. Intel and AMD announced new laptop processors which contain built-in AI technology that harness Microsoft Copilot in a new and more powerful way, and they both showcased new AI laptops from their partners utilizing this latest technology. Later, we'll talk with Charles Duval from Intel, who will tell us more. However, it's not all plain sailing for Intel and AMD. One of the challenges comes in the form of a new series of products from Qualcomm, who announced their Snapdragon X Elite, which is an ARM-based laptop AI-centric chipset. Qualcomm announced 22 new Copilot Plus devices with various partners that they claim deliver power efficiency and performance above their x86-based rivals. In the area of data center and cloud technology, there was a lot of excitement around NVIDIA's core and partner announcements. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, who practically enjoys rockstar status in Taiwan, gave one of the opening keynote addresses Sunday night at the Taiwan National University Stadium in Taipei to a crowd of over 6,500, and we'll share some of the highlights from his speech later in the podcast. We also talked to 3 data center OEMs who have partnered with NVIDIA, Intel and AMD to deliver their latest AI technology to cloud service providers. And finally, we'll hear from the Republic of Gamers about their latest handheld gaming devices. But first, Computex 2024 featured an innovation and startup exhibition which hosted over 400 startups from 30 different countries. We met up with 3 of them, all of whom are developing new AI-based products and tools. One from Taiwan in the area of smart manufacturing and smart logistics, another Singapore-based company developing AI-based tools for teachers, and first, a German company developing quantum sensing technology for semiconductor manufacturing.
Yes, my name is Kevin. I'm from Munich in Germany, and we are developing a quantum sensing tool for semiconductor manufacturing.
Okay. And why are you here in Taiwan with this technology?
We started off in Europe to build this sensing technology, but given that we mainly use it in semiconductor manufacturing, Taiwan is a very good place to be because here the most advanced chips are manufactured, and for the most advanced chip we can help best. So we have to set up an office here, be very present in the market.
And what kind of collaboration activities do you actually have?
So we cannot publicly announce everything, but we recently discussed with 2 of the leading research institutes here because we are a spin-off from a research institute in Europe. And we initiated some first collaborations with Taiwanese research institutes to just push the boundaries of what the technology can do.
So tell me about the diamond-based quantum sensing. I mean, what's new and novel about it? Why Why come up with this?
Yeah, so you might have heard of quantum technologies in general, more prominently quantum computing. So what we do is ultra precise sensing. So think about classical sensors that are well optimized and engineered, but we just open up a new level of sensitivity. So we can do nanometer sensing super fast for magnetic field, temperatures, pressures. And we are now the first to commercialize it in a device that you can actually put to the industry. Right? So it has been researched for a couple of years now, very fresh, but now you can actually use it in industrial settings.
And so it's for sensing during the wafer production process, is it? Or is there a particular part of the semiconductor manufacturing process it's used in, and maybe not in others?
Yeah, so we are currently using it in the back end. So you have a fully packaged chip, where you can put currents through, and then you can measure actually a working device. But you can use the same technology also in the front end process. So you can actually take the same technology and put it to the wafer level tests as well.
So you can sense various different things. So does this work? So we hear about 3 nanometer technology now, very cutting or bleeding edge.
Yeah.
Does this have the granularity or the accuracy to work at these very small lithographies?
Yeah. So now we're getting very technical, right? So
a little.
a little. So we can. So we don't match the resolution of single transistors, but the idea is not to detect single transistor issues, but more the broader scheme: is the chip working or not? And if you have single transistor defects, typically the defect kind of spreads out, so you can actually see it even though we don't match a 3 nanometer resolution.
All right, great. Maybe just asking you about the show in general. Have you had a chance to walk around Computex 2024? What are your takeaways from it?
So I think AI everywhere, that's my biggest takeaway, right? So we will focus also on the use case in AI chips, how we can help best. And I think, AI or semiconductor industry in general is becoming a new hype. It's very cool, right? So the last years it was very technical, and now it's a big show. Many people are here. So very, very good for us to get connected to the industry even further.
Hi, I'm Joseph Telfer, founder of TopSchool.ai.
And what are you doing in Taiwan at the innovation booth here at Computex?
Yeah, so we're part of the Access to Taiwan program, which is through the IAPS facilitation. And that's an accelerator program that invites us into Taiwan as a foreign overseas company. Provides us access to mentors, to investment opportunities, to introductions, and then included within that is giving us a booth here to demonstrate international innovation at the Computex exhibition.
And are there like collaboration opportunities associated with that engagement with Taiwan in terms of like other companies or industries in Taiwan that may have specific expertise that you could partner with?
Yeah, definitely. So the part of the introduction is introducing us to the kind of local network that can aid us in launching in Taiwan and spreading through Taiwan. So we're signing partnerships and MOUs and getting access to the market through kind of local knowledge, local know-how.
Okay. Tell me about your product then.
Cool. Yeah. So TopSchool.ai is an AI platform designed to help parents, teachers, and students coordinate education using generative AI solutions. So the entire school's curriculum is loaded into the AI system. We call it PLAI, P-L-A-I, Personalized Learning AI. And then teachers get to say, based on curriculum standard XYZ, create me a lesson plan for class 7B. Little Johnny in class 7B is learning much slower than Christine, so simplify for Johnny, but raise up the level for Christine. Christine's parents want to do some extracurricular activities this weekend, so create 5 learning activities that they can do in the forest that supports the current learning objectives that we have as a class.
Okay. I mean, that sounds very interesting, very personalized for the student.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of upfront work for the teacher to get all that information, the curricular information, into the product?
So 2 parts to that. The first part is the curriculum upload, and that is just a pure data dump. So that can be docs, PDF, PowerPoint, text files, HTML, movie files, YouTube videos, audio files. All of that comes into the system, and there's an automated meta tagging process in that as well. So the actual AI system compartmentalizes all of the data and tags it. We then create a knowledge graph, and that basically increases the performance of the AI system. And then from a student perspective, how you start to put the student information in, it's all conversational. So the teacher is talking to the AI, and there's an AI agent in the background which is updating the personalized record of the student. Then when the student, the teacher and the parents are interacting with the system, the AI is monitoring those interactions and automatically updating the system as the student's dynamic learning journey kind of continues.
Okay. I suppose a lot of people, maybe when they hear about kids interacting with computers, will always ask about the safety aspect. What would you say about people that might have concerns about the safety aspect of using a tool like this?
Yeah. So I think there's 2 points. There's safety and accuracy. So on accuracy, we know that ChatGPT can hallucinate, we call it, right? So with our system, it's heavily contextualized because you're saying this is the curriculum standard, this is the textbook. So for a start, the system is controlled in what it's allowed to talk about. It can't just wander off and talk about anything else. The second part is the AI system is then programmed to be a safe for children system with a monitoring piece built in. So if a child starts to interact in an inappropriate way, the teacher gets an immediate alert with a record of that interaction, and the student is reprimanded for that behavior. And so, it's not in anyone's favor.
So I suppose overall, though, this isn't designed to take over from the teacher.
No.
It's to help.
Absolutely, yeah. The problem right now in the world is that teachers are leaving the profession in record numbers. Attrition is the highest it's ever been. And actually the UN suggests that we need 44 million new teachers by 2030. There's 100 million today and we need 44 million. So it's a huge increase in teacher numbers required. And at the same time, you've got declining engagement and well-being in students. So the aim of this product is not to replace the teacher, but it's to unburden the teacher from that growing administrative burden that they've had over the years, to free up their time to be more human. That's our goal, is to allow the teacher to have a better human connection with their students and to see the role of teacher transform into something that we might call coach or counselor, as well as academic pedagogist.
And have you had much uptake so far? Do you have customers you're working with or schools you're working with to test this out, or indeed sell it?
Yeah. So we've got three forms. We've got three types of customer, right? The individual teacher, the school on the enterprise level, and then the parents that are engaging with our parent modules. Right now, we're signing up teachers as beta testers, working with them very, very closely to design exactly what they need and want for their particular education style. And for the individual teacher, that's a completely free to use service, and they'll be with us for at least a year of free, providing our platform to them for free. And they can get, like I said, customized tools built just for them. For a school, there's a small pilot fee, but that trains all teachers and brings on the entire school curriculum onto the platform. After 6 months, if the school wishes to continue, they can. If they don't, then fine. Everyone's been trained and they've had all this experience in AI. And then here at Innovex Computex, we've been launching Top Parent, which is that parent module that we've been talking about today, where the parent gets to engage with the curriculum, with the standards, with the learning materials in fun and exciting ways.
And are you offering this in multiple languages or English only, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, it's currently in English and Chinese, as we're here in Taiwan right now, but we'll be launching in other major languages as well. The great thing is that with the new capabilities of the large language models in their linguistic capabilities, we can also launch in multiple different languages simultaneously with really high performance because of their LLMs.
So where do people find more information on it?
Topschool.ai.
All right, well, great to talk with you. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Thanks very much.
My name is Daniel, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of MedAI. Yeah.
And what is MedAI all about?
Okay, so MedAI is we integrate 3D with AI, which is quite unique because when we talk about 3D, it's not like simple 3D like building a model. We're talking about building physically accurate models with AI. So we use our generative model to accelerate the digital transformation of industry. For example, the logistic industry, for example, the manufacturing industry. Yeah.
And so, okay, apart from just the 3D representation and planning, you must have other rules in the system that help the system decide how to lay out the perfect production line.
Oh yeah, that would be the later part. So that is called a sim to real progress, where we inside the simulation environment we can test all kinds of different routes, different planning, and then come up with a thing that we call as the best practice for us to adopt or implement into production lines. Yeah.
And do you have some kind of metric to compare different approaches? What are the KPIs you use?
Yeah, of course. For warehouses, for smart logistics center, the biggest KPI will be throughput, right? So are you able to pack like 20,000 products in 1 hour? Can you make it out of the warehouse system? Yeah, this is the key for system integrators to validate to their customer, for their customer to be persuaded that this layout works, this solution works.
What else does it? What other kind of features does it have?
Oh, it has kinds of feature. For example, we can simulate. Okay, let me put it this way: if we have two robot arms, is it better if we put it like this way, like vertically, or horizontally? Yeah. These are not simulation ready before this tech, before digital twins. But with digital twins, we can simulate all kinds of different integrating solutions for our customer to be persuaded. Yeah.
So I presume it's a product that somebody setting up a new production line may want, but also for somebody who has an established production line, they can model it and optimize it that way too.
Yeah, correct. But the first question we should solve is that how do we scale this building factory process? Right. So in the past, for system integrators like ChemMech, which is our partner, they would to build one 3D simulation to validate all the stuff that we mentioned just earlier. It would take them around 300 hours for 3D layouts or 3D planners to build this environment, right? And with our tech, with our generative model, we vastly shorten this period to 4 minutes, and all automatically. So with Gen AI, with our generative model, we tell our AI, please identify what is happening in this layout. For example, there's an AGV here, there's an NR here, there's a rack here, and then we generate precise SimReady assets into this environment to do instant simulation.
And you're part of the NVIDIA Inception program as well. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. So Inception program is a global program that provides assistance to all the startups. That is linked with generative AI, digital twins, and 3D. Yeah. So NVIDIA is our biggest partner in Taiwan, and they really support us.
And so how far along are you in terms of like a final product, having customers and having it deployed? How far along are you in that process?
Okay, we have quite a lot of potential clients at the moment, but we're kind of like delaying the terms with them because what Meta is trying to do is not a project-based company. So we're not trying to bring revenue to our team like instantly. What we're trying to do is that we combine our clients' domain know-how and build our muscles, build our strengths, and then this would become a whole simulator platform where all different kinds of industries, all different kinds of manufacturers can just put into their input their 2D layouts, and then we generate a whole sim-ready factory for them to do simulations.
How do people find out more about you?
Oh, sure. You can visit our LinkedIn, which is MedAI Technology, and also our official website is www.med-ai.net.
That's Daniel from MetAI. One of the big names making a splash at Computex 2024 was NVIDIA. At the time of recording, the company's market capitalization was worth over $3 trillion and recently surpassed Apple to become the world's second most valuable company. NVIDIA's founder and CEO is Jensen Huang, who was born in the southern Taiwan city of Tainan and raised in the United States. In his 1 hour 47-minute keynote address on the Sunday night before Computex Week, he told the audience that today we're at the cusp of a major shift in computing, continuing that the intersection of AI and accelerated computing is set to redefine the future. He shared NVIDIA's new product roadmap and announced that NVIDIA is building a $750 million R&D center in Taiwan. He said Taiwan's supply chain is the backbone of global AI innovation. His keynote address gives a really good overview of accelerated computing and artificial intelligence, and we've linked his entire presentation in the Dive Deeper section of our blog at pwnilo.com if you'd like to take a look. But here's a short selection of some of the highlights from his talk.
The computer industry is now some 60 years old. In a lot of ways, everything that we do today was invented the year after my birth in 1964. The IBM System 360 introduced central processing units, general purpose computing, the separation of hardware and software through an operating system, multitasking, I/O subsystems, DMA, all kinds of technologies that we use today, architectural compatibility, backwards compatibility, family compatibility, all of the things that we know today about computing largely described in 1964. Of course, the PC revolution democratized computing and put it in the hands and the houses of everybody. And then in 2007, the iPhone introduced mobile computing and put the computer in our pocket. Ever since, everything is connected and running all the time through the mobile cloud. This last 60 years, we saw just several, not that many actually, 2 or 3 major technology shifts. 2 or 3 tectonic shifts in computing, where everything changed. And we're about to see that happen again. There are 2 fundamental things that are happening. The first is that the processor, the engine by which the computer industry runs on, the central processing unit, the performance scaling has slowed tremendously. And yet, the amount of computation we have to do is still doubling very quickly, exponentially. If processing requirement, if the data that we need to process continues to scale exponentially, but performance does not, we will experience computation inflation. And in fact, we're seeing that right now as we speak. The amount of data center power that's used all over the world is growing quite substantially. The cost of computing is growing. We are seeing computation inflation. This, of course, cannot continue. The data is going to continue to increase exponentially, and CPU performance scaling will never return. There is a better way. For almost 2 decades now, we've been working on accelerated computing. CUDA augments a CPU, offloads and accelerates the work that a specialized processor can do much, much better. In fact, the performance is so extraordinary that it is very clear now, as CPU scaling has slowed and eventually substantially stopped, we should accelerate everything. I predict that every application that is processing intensive will be accelerated, and surely every data center will be accelerated in the near future. There are many types of algorithms that are very conducive to acceleration through parallel processing. So we invented an architecture to do that. By adding the GPU to the CPU, the specialized processor can take something that takes a great deal of time and accelerate it down to something that is incredibly fast. And because the 2 processors can work side by side, they're both autonomous and they're both separate, independent that is, we could accelerate what used to take 100 units of time down to 1 unit of time. Well, the speed up is incredible. It almost sounds unbelievable. It almost sounds unbelievable. But today I'll demonstrate many examples for you. The benefit is quite extraordinary. 100 times speed up, but you only increase the power by about a factor of 3. And you increase the cost by only about 50%. We do this all the time in the PC industry. We add a GPU, a $500 GPU, GeForce GPU, to a $1,000 PC, and the performance increases tremendously. We do this in a data center. $1 billion data center, we add $500 million worth of GPUs, and all of a sudden, it becomes an AI factory. This is happening all over the world today. Well, the savings are quite extraordinary. Well, every single time we speed up the application, the cost of computing goes down. This is that slide I was showing you earlier. 100x speed up translates to 97, 96%, 98% savings. And so when we go from 100x speed up to 200x speed up to 1000x speed up, the savings, the marginal cost of computing continues to fall. Well, of course, we believe that by reducing the cost of computing incredibly, the market, developers, scientists, inventors will continue to discover new algorithms that consume more and more and more computing, so that one day something happens, that a phase shift happens, that the marginal cost of computing is so low that a new way of using computers emerge. In fact, that's what we're seeing now. Over the years, we have driven down the marginal cost of computing in the last 10 years in one particular algorithm by 1 million times. Well, as a result, it is now very logical and very common sense to train large language models with all of the data on the internet. Nobody thinks twice. This idea that you could create a computer that could process so much data to write its own software, the emergence of artificial intelligence was made possible because of this complete belief that if we made computing cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, somebody's going to find a great use. Well, today, CUDA has achieved the virtuous cycle. Install base is growing. Computing cost is coming down, which causes more developers to come up with more ideas, which drives more demand. And now we're in the beginning of something very, very important. We have now a new factory producing a new commodity for every industry that is of extraordinary value. And the methodology for doing this is quite scalable. And the methodology of doing this is quite repeatable. Notice how quickly so many different AI models, generative AI models, are being invented, literally daily. Every single industry is now piling on. For the very first time, the IT industry, which is $3 trillion, $3 trillion IT industry, is about to create something that can directly serve $100 trillion of industry. No longer just an instrument for information storage or data processing, but a factory for generating intelligence for every industry. This is going to be a manufacturing industry, not a manufacturing industry of computers, but using the computers in manufacturing. This has never happened before. Quite an extraordinary thing. What started with accelerated computing, led to AI, led to generative AI, and now an industrial revolution. Now the impact to our industry is also quite significant. Of course, we could create a new commodity, a new product we call tokens for many industries, but the impact to ours is also quite profound. For the very first time, as I was saying earlier, in 60 years, every single layer of computing has been changed. From CPUs, general purpose computing, to accelerated GPU computing, where the computer needs instructions, now computers process LLMs, large language models, AI models. And whereas the computing model of the past is retrieval-based, almost every time you touch your phone, some pre-recorded text or pre-recorded image or pre-recorded video is retrieved for you and recomposed based on a recommender system to present it to you based on your habits. But in the future, your computer will generate as much as possible, retrieve only what's necessary. And the reason for that is because generated data requires less energy to go fetch information. Generated data also is more contextually relevant. It will encode knowledge, it will encode your understanding of you, and instead of get that information for me or get that file for me, you just say, ask me for an answer. And instead of a tool, instead of your computer being a tool that we use, the computer will now generate skills.
That's a brief excerpt from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's keynote address at Computex. As generative AI introduces a new set of novel and more powerful applications, the demand for accelerated computing in data centers has increased, making higher power AI servers with better energy efficiency and new cooling architectures the desirable technology of the future. Jensen Huang said in his keynote address that Taiwan and their partnerships with NVIDIA have created the world's AI infrastructure. And what this means in practice is that NVIDIA has partnered with industry-leading companies like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, to make their AI chips, and with Taiwanese OEMs like Inventec, Quanta and ASUS, and others to build the new AI server hardware. I spoke to 3 of those OEMs to find out more about this latest data center AI technology. First, William Tu, who is a senior engineer with Inventec.
So William, tell me a little bit about the latest GPU server offerings you have for the data center.
Okay, so for the first one is the GB200 servers. Those are the latest. So the NVIDIA announced this GPU in March on GTC, and now
they announced the Blackwell.
Yeah, the Grace Blackwell. Yeah.
So you have a product now that incorporates those.
Yes, so we have a NVL72 rack, which is a rack with 72 GPUs.
And so how many GPUs on a single tray?
4 GPUs in the tray.
That must be quite a bit of power.
Yeah, so each GPU is around 1200 watts. Sorry. So a tray will be about 7 kilowatt.
And in a rack, then the total power is?
Total power will be somewhere around 120 kilowatt.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How does that compare with the power of racks previously? The previous generation of rack, how much power did you have?
So for traditional racks, it's somewhere around 20 to 30 kilowatts. That'll be a lot, and this is a lot compared to the previous.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So this is pretty high power. So how are these cooled?
They are liquid cooled, using cold plates and CDUs.
And is that provided by you as part of the rack solution?
It's provided by our third-party vendors, and we'll integrate them into our rack solution.
So when you buy a 120 kilowatt rack, it includes the power supplies and the cooling, all included.
That's correct.
I also spoke with Joseph Liu from ASUS. ASUS are famous for their laptops, but since 2016, they have also been producing hardware for the data center. He told me about their latest NVIDIA-based data center servers.
So the latest we work with NVIDIA is about the Grace GB200 NVL72. So based on their architecture, they would like to deliver most powerful AI performance for the enterprise and data center customer. So on top of their topology design, ASUS, we put a lot of effort, engineering effort to design a very optimized server, because with such kind of, you have the 36 CPU and 72 GPU, it means a lot of power consumption. So you need the liquid cooling, and also you need a very optimized thermal design. So our engineering team, they work a lot to design the overall a good airflow and a good liquid cooling location to keep the data center in safe, and also we can deliver very much more optimized performance on that. So for example, we input all our CPU tuning technology to ensure the GB200 NVL72 is working in a very good performance status. So and also the liquid cooling, it's very tough because it's 1500 kilowatts. So it's a lot of power consumption we need to consider. Yeah.
Well, it's 1500 watts per GPU, right?
Yeah.
And there's 2 GPUs and 1 CPU on a GB200 module.
Yeah.
Right. And so, it's very challenging because it's so much more power compared to the previous version.
Correct.
How much more compared to the previous version? It's almost double, is it?
Around double power budget. So you need to consider more about to design the overall budget control, budgetary about the power consumption. So our thermal team and our power team, they do that efforts to make sure they're running well without sacrificing any kind of performance.
And on the performance, so because it consumes more power, it gives more performance. Can you say a little bit about how much more performance customer will get using this compared to the previous generation?
Let's take some exciting example. Now you are seeing lots of AI PC, right? AI PC per AI PC is around 40 TOPS.
Yes.
And you know what? And with one GB200 NVL62, it is around 1,000 AI PC. So you can imagine how powerful it is, combining the 1,000 AI PC, and they can put it into one rack.
Yes.
Yeah. So you save a lot, and you consume less power, but you can deliver much more AI performance compared to the AI PC. I know it's a different kinds of category, but let's see. It's much easier to understand how powerful it is. You just stack up 10,000 AI PC on top of that.
So you mentioned 40 TOPS or tera operations per second for one of the new generation laptops, and a rack of these is about
12 teraflop, 12,000 teraflop. So it's a totally different kinds of performance.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, you're right. You can stack up thousands PC together to get such kind of solution. Yeah.
So a very exciting time. I mean, we've never seen anything like this in terms of the level of performance or anything before.
Yeah.
And at the keynote, Jensen Huang talked about his next generation product already, which he already is planning.
It's under planning now. But it's still under discussion and under the overall project milestone. So we didn't have much more detail here, but definitely we will still work with NVIDIA to have this kind of great product in the future.
Do you have a lot of demand from your customers? They must be very excited about this. Do you have a lot of demand at a show like this for that product?
Yeah, they have the product, and also we are still very early discussion about the deployment because it's quite complicated. But like you mentioned, the demand's there because everybody needs much more precise AI, like simulation or the voice to text to video, and some kinds of solution. So it's much more vivid, and we can see the bright future with the AI technology.
And the other thing you mentioned to me when we were in the other area just a while ago, you showed me some other products. So because you have more powerful compute and AI chips, you also have to connect them together by networking and everything. And so you also provide the networking solutions to connect all this together.
Yeah, correct. Because in addition to the superpower GB200, NVL72, and all other kind of category like the enterprise level or some kind of research level, they still need another optimized or fitted product to them. So in our AI product line, we also to offer this kind of solution to them.
Anything else you want to add, Joseph? Any other exciting things you've seen at the show?
Yeah, I think AI is coming and it's already become part of our life. This is the first thing. And the second thing, we are not just a hardware provider. We can help our end customer to provide the overall solution. I mean, from the install the data center and deploy the software needed, and also to help them to maintain the data center. So I think ASUS also transform into the hardware provider and be the domain expert for the AI supercomputer.
Quanta Computer also builds data center hardware, and Vicky Chang told me about their AMD-based products.
Actually, QCT provide two kinds of AMD server. One is 1U, 2 processors, and 1U, 1 processor. And it is targeting different workload. Like for 2U, it's more like high density compute. And for the 1P servers, it would be like it can focus on light workload. And it is for cost-effective solutions for customers.
And both of these AMD servers can be connected or integrated to AMD GPU or AI solutions.
For these two systems, they are both comply with 5 PCI expansion slots, and 2 of them are OCP. So that means there are 3 PCI slots remain for single with GPU. So for the GPU solution, you can choose NVIDIA, you can choose Intel one, or even third-party FPGA board that will be available for this system.
So right here we have a fairly large tray, which is a GPU tray, I understand, from AMD. Tell me about this one. What is the technology in this?
I see. That is the totally different form factor of GPU that called MI300X, and that is a GPU mounted on a baseboard. Yeah, and the GPU are all connected together to have a high frequency connections. And that will because the TDP is higher than general GPU, so the heatsink will be higher. So as you can see, the system is bigger than that.
So they dissipate a lot of power.
Yeah, exactly. So there are 4U of GPU to conduct with the computing, and they will have 2 CPU in another tray on the 1U high to control all the, including memory, data, or GPU, the data that GPU just processed. Yeah, so which means that one system can conduct all the compute and AI training together.
And the customers who buy these type of systems are mostly data center operators, or who? What kind of customers buy these systems?
Cloud service provider. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, there are many cloud service providers in the market. Yes, so basically, if the customer have the 90-inch rack to adapt all the system, our system will be available for them. Their demand will be like separate into different. If they need AI, if they need training, they will take the bigger, the more CPU one. But if like they are looking for storage, they can take like we provide 2.5-inch SSD or E1.S SSD in just a 1U system. So that means the storage density in this system will be better than other systems. So basically, it depends on customer demands.
And most of the customers you would have nowadays, are most of them looking for AI solutions, or are they looking for like the older type compute and storage solution?
Well, of course, with the AI is the trend right now, so there do have more people asking for AI solution. But the general purpose demand, the storage, the basic compute, the HPC, the demand still remain the same. So yeah.
And of course, there are more choices for customers now who wish to get into AI. So as you mentioned, there are multiple different providers, like this is AMD, but also NVIDIA and others.
Yes, we just mentioned AMD one, and everyone may be familiar with NVIDIA. They have HGX configuration, they have MGX configuration, which means they have different, maybe they even can connect like 72 GPUs together. So that is what we're familiar with. But actually the CPU provider Intel, they also provide a Gaudi 3 system, and they are all supported by QCT system infrastructure.
That's Vicky Chang from Quanta Computer. Intel, one of the world's largest semiconductor manufacturers, has seen increasing competition in recent years, with no sign of abatement. In his keynote address at Computex, Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger said that the AI era is like the internet 25 years ago. It's the fuel driving everything forward, and that the AI PC is the most exciting moment. Intel expects that by 2028, 80% of all PCs will be AI PCs, and they hope to capture a large slice of that opportunity. Gelsinger also announced a bunch of new Intel products for the edge, enterprise and data center segments. I met up with Charles Duval from Intel at their booth at Computex and asked him about their latest product announcements.
Well, the major announcement is the launch of Sierra Forest, right? Bringing in that next generation compute core for those basic workloads in the data center, which drive a lot of traffic, right? But bringing those to higher core counts at lower power is such a huge advantage for the data centers that are really carrying the bulk of that type of data.
And how about on the PC? There's a lot of talk about the AI PC or the introduction of AI on the PC at this conference.
So we've been showing a lot of the new Lunar Lake stuff. And again, bringing the AI PC, we've launched stuff in December with Meteor Lake. And that kind of brought the AI PC into the public mainstream. And the Lunar Lake takes it to the next step. You know, next generation NPU, next generation CPU, next generation graphics solution. So you bring all that stuff together, and now you have an AI PC that's really taken it to the next level. Not just an incremental stuff, but a full-on next level that performs better than really anything we've seen in the AI PC market.
And so this is inference on your machine rather than it being kind of outsourced to the cloud. So you have full control of the data, your own data if you want, on your own machine.
Exactly, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of the AI PC, because sometimes you do want that cloud solution, right? You want something outside a 20-watt solution, you want a 1,000-watt solution to do your AI inferencing, right? And the cloud offers that. But many times I want my data to stay here with me. My medical data, my personal financial data, I would love those LLMs to work on my data, specifically on my system.
And you have multiple partners, I noticed. When can consumers expect to find this in their devices that are on the shelves, like laptops and desktops and so on?
So the Lunar Lakes you'll see in the second half of 2024.
And so Lunar Lake is for the laptop, or?
Correct.
And then for desktop?
For desktop, I think that will also be in the second half of 2024.
Okay. And the new devices, the Forest devices you mentioned for the data center, they're already...
so we launched that here today, right? So we're launching that here this week at Computex. So that'll be the 144 core solution. And then we've got 2 follow-on products with the Granite Rapids solution, which is more of a AI and a data center HPC solution, much bigger cores, much faster. And then we got a follow-on brother to that Pat talked about today with Sierra Forest AP, which brings that core count up to 288.
I know it's a very challenging landscape in the AI area right now. Many other companies, NVIDIA being the big one. How confident do you feel about Intel's future in this space?
Intel is very confident in AI. We invest a lot of money in it. We got Gaudi 3 now coming out. We've got a lot of solutions on the back end, not only in hardware and software. We got the world's second fastest HPC solution, so running on Intel solutions with new products coming out to address those markets. So again, I feel very confident in the direction Intel's going.
Finally, to get a flavour of the latest gaming announcements, I met with Whitson Gordon, who is a senior manager of content marketing for ROG.
So you have a new product in front of you here, which you're pretty excited about and are announcing here at Computex. Can you tell me what it is and why you're excited about it?
Yes, this is the ROG Ally X. It is a Windows-based gaming handheld. It is an update to our previous ROG Ally. It is probably my favorite gaming device out there right now. It's a handheld, like a lot of the handhelds you see today, but it runs Windows, which means you can play any PC game that you have, whether it's from Steam, Epic, Xbox Game Pass, GOG, all right in the palm of your hands.
And what are the new features or enhancements that make it better than the previous generation?
So our goal was to take all of the feedback we got from the community and try to incorporate as much of it as possible. The number one piece of feedback we got was that people wanted more battery life, right? With something handheld, battery is king. So we doubled the battery capacity of the ROG Ally X. We also doubled the storage to 1 terabyte and increased the RAM to try and eliminate any of those kind of bottlenecks in performance.
How about internet connectivity and latency and that kind of performance for community gaming?
Oh, that's a great question. So it has the same Wi-Fi 60 chip that we're using in the original ROG Ally. A lot of the other stuff that we focused on was more physical, right? More controls. We wanted to make the sticks feel a little bit better. We wanted to make the buttons feel a little bit better. The handles are a little bit more curved and ergonomic. The Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are the same because they performed real great on the last model, and no one was telling us that they really wanted something different on that side.
Can you say anything about the retail price?
Yes, this is actually available for pre-order starting right now. It's available for $7.99 in the US.
I also want to ask you about some of the announcements of new devices, new CPUs, and so on that big name companies, semiconductor companies have announced here. How does it make you feel about the future of gaming when you hear what they're offering or promising in their new devices?
Oh, exciting. I mean, we've never had a wider range of stuff. You still got all these great desktop components, right, which have been going on for a long time. But on the mobile side, we're seeing cool stuff from AMD. We're seeing cool stuff from Intel and Qualcomm. The future of this segment especially, I think, is very bright. And while we're really, really proud to work with AMD on this machine, the future is open. Who knows what could come?
Do you have plans in the works to take advantage of some of those devices?
Nothing concrete yet, and certainly nothing that we've announced or that I can share, but we're very open-minded, right? Whatever our partners want to work with us, we're open to talking to them about it. And, you know, like I said, I think that this is just the beginning of this whole new ecosystem of products. So who knows what the future holds?
That's Whitson Gordon from Republic of Gamers, and my thanks to Whitson and all the other guests for speaking to us on Perspectives with Nilo at Computex 2024. We covered a lot in this episode, so if you'd like to find out more about the products or companies we talked to, we've added more details and links in the Dive Deeper section of our blog, which you can find at pwnilo.com. There you can also listen to our past episodes, and you'll find links to our social media. And we'd really appreciate a like, follow or subscribe if you enjoy our content. But that's where we leave it for now. As always, thank you for listening. And from Taipei, Taiwan, 再见.